Okay, what's with the chickens?
Okay. All right. So this is what happened. Someone shared on Facebook this great period photo of what looked like an Edwardian woman in a beautiful classic gown, and she is wearing on her head a hat that looks like a chicken wearing a bow tie. Okay. And Karen commented, I need a hat like that. See, she should not have said that because of her high visibility, because of her connection to me, and because we know a lot of very creative and silly people. In no time at all, she had two chicken hats, a chicken purse, and various other chicken items. And then last night, Noreen Mechanique from your part of the world posted a video called Chicken Attack by a Japanese man who is a professional yodeler and has created videos where he saves the world while holding a chicken, which he throws into the air and it becomes a guy in a white spandex suit who does kung fu. Uh, if you want to put up the screen share, I could show you the thing.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if that shows up in the recording. Okay. Screen share. Go ahead. Because, all right. Oh, I'm not hearing sound. I guess we don't need it.
I will include the link
Okay.
since you can't hear the sound.
Okay. Uh, give us a little more graphics here. Video. I want to see at least
Oh,
the
okay.
action part. He's yodeling. I can sort of hear something. What? Well, I guess we're not going to be calling him a big old chicken. Okay, this is making me very happy. Hoi! And oh,
So, who knew that there
choking
was a
on the
world
chicken feather.
who knew that there was a world famous Japanese yodeler
Mm-hmm.
who wears lederhosen
Uh-huh.
and performs multiple videos
Wait,
attacking with a chicken
uh-huh.
and a pig,
Uh-huh.
and he participated in a cover of the Chicken Attack song by a death metal band.
Okay. And not to get too nitty gritty because I'm just gonna get nitty gritty. The the bipedal, the human form chicken appeared to
Mhm.
be male, but that's a hen.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Maybe they're gender fluid.
Yeah, just like Ranma half. You know,
So,
you know how Ranma half
yeah,
changes
yeah.
gender, right?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
hens turn into human fighter guy.
Hmm.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, I know your life was not complete without knowing about the Japanese man who moved to Germany to yodel and, has made a life doing this sort of thing.
You
And
know,
people are now sharing this stuff with Karen. So, I have to share it with you.
yeah, and since DC Comics been having a really hard time with getting a cohesive universe going.
Have they?
So, maybe like the Justice League kind of limping along, not quite keeping up with the Marvel comic universe audacity. Maybe what DC's missing is,
Chicken Man?
yeah,
With the power of nature, you're never alone.
that's right. I mean, they got Ant-Man already, and they got a guy dressed as a bat
Later on in the video,
and Fishman.
after he beats up another guy, he gives him the chicken and says, "You are poor and maybe hungry, so I'm going to give you this chicken, and you could have eggs for dinner and legs in the wintertime, and you don't have to steal again." And like you're you're giving him your magic chicken? I I don't know. It's a new level of absurdity that I could never have imagined.
Oh my God. Yeah. Uh-huh.
But my question is it art?
We're going to talk about art.
Dramatic chord, right? Mm-hmm. Is it art? It's certainly performance art, don't you think?
Absolutely performance art.
Right? Because I don't think we're meant to take it seriously as a musical genre as much as it's an embrace of the alpine yodeling
Mhm.
tradition in a completely nonsensical setting with Japanese chopsaki, uh, Wild West Edo period, and the fact that the kung fu is bad
Yeah.
makes it even better.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
it's horrible.
it's there's absurdity to it. Camp. I think the word is camp,
Camp.
right? And if one takes camp and campiness seriously and dive into the campiness as opposed to assuming it's a serious thing, uh,
Hmm.
there's this flip of by diving into the absurdity and like going super camp.
Hmm.
I mean, first of all, it makes the world happier,
Well,
right?
God knows I'm happier for having seen this.
Right? So, is it art? Are we talking about art today?
I thought we'd talk about art today.
Okay.
I had an interesting art experience. And, you
Okay.
know, we disagree on a lot of art things. I'm
Yeah, yeah.
right.
Wait, I need to say just one word. Okay,
Mm.
viewers, just watch this. Watch Laura's face. Rothko.
Oh, fuck him and his fucking zip. And Duchamp can kiss my ass. It's a fucking urinal. It's a fucking bottle dryer. Go home. Ugh.
See, absurdity.
No, it's not absurd. It's a man taking something that women deal with every day and putting it on a pedestal and naming it something else, and other men going, "Ooh, how profound." While Mrs. Duchamp is like, "That's my bottle dryer. Could I have it back now?" Uh, are you quite done with it, Mr. Big Shot Artist?
Pollock.
I'm bad at painting too. I splatter all over the place. That's why I hire a professional.
Well, let's see. Now, here's one I've never mentioned around you. Banksy.
Okay, Banksy is legit. Banksy is gangster art. Banksy is Rage Against the Machine. Banksy is the.
Hmm.
And Banksy is totally putting you on because who's paying Banksy? Who determines what Banksy is worth? Well, yeah, I mean, we may never know the actual Banksy. And as for me, that would be perfect art as life. I have created a thing that lives in all these different dimensions as graffiti, as protest, as decoration, as defiance, as celebration. And you don't know who I am. He is Keith Haring without the fame.
Yeah. Without the body that's identified with the fame.
Mm.
It's,
Mm-hmm.
okay, Banksy, little trivia in my life. Years ago when I was teaching in London, and my event producer was like a well-connected, uh, like well-connected, right?
Mm-hmm.
And after my class, she tells me, "Oh yeah, Banksy was in the room." Like,
Um, no.
and she's like, "Well, I couldn't tell you because I'm friends with him." And I'm like, "Thanks."
How do you know you're friends with him?
Right, I know, and but still, I'm going to stick with that. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm just
Uh-huh.
going to stay with that. And okay, and then there's the Banksy shenanigan with the shredded art.
I like the art that self-destructs.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
The one
that
at
one, yeah.
yeah, the one at the auction.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's there's a concept now where people are selling, they're actually engaged in commercial selling of images
Mhm.
that only exist as graphics
Oh,
on a
NFT.
computer. Yeah, this is nonsense.
Yeah.
This is performative nonsense. This is Banksy level. Go ahead, hand over the money because, you know, guys get to determine what's art by how much you pay for it. I am making you pay for something you could literally get for free. Is it a scam or is it a commentary on the emptiness of modern art?
I'd go for the yes on both accounts. And how is it a scam? How is it a scam when it's all laid out on the table? This is what you get, and you pay me what you want to.
Because you're getting nothing.
Right.
You are
And
literally getting nothing.
yeah. And they're the artists and the creators who are putting out NFTs into these auctions, they're not presenting this as anything that it's not.
It doesn't even become intellectual property.
Mm-mm.
It's not as though you can then say, I own this image and therefore others may not use it. I'll use it 100 times today. You paid $2 million for a fucking image on a computer. I'm going to paste it all over my Facebook page.
Mhm. So it's not a scam because it's straight up.
Hmm.
Is
Hmm.
it, do we not relate to the way it's valued? That's true. But it is not a scam because it doesn't present itself to be something anything that it's not.
Hmm.
It's kind
Well,
of it's kind of like a baseball trading card, right? And that
Yeah.
um, fundamentally it is a pre-printed piece of cardboard.
Mhm.
The rareness comes from that there's not much left or whatever. The
Right.
value is given by collectors. I mean, it's Beanie Babies.
Mhm. Well,
And
and that is ultimately what I think these images are.
mhm,
They're Beanie Babies. They will come and they will go rather quickly.
mhm.
And the people who think that they will appreciate in value are wrong. And the people who feel that they got a good value for whatever reason, I hope they're happy with it. And
Yeah,
if they have that much money, I can make it pictures for them too.
and I
Make all sorts of
want,
pictures
yeah,
for you.
there's some other intangible value that you and I don't put on the value scale
Mhm.
that the buyers have. Hey, with I belong to an art group, right? That I suggested to them as because we're a mutual aid society, mutual aid artist society, and
Uh-huh.
also trying to like put aside a little bit of funds to help other local artists. So
Right?
I suggested to my group, well, why don't we do a society, or it's called the Society of Smoky Mirrors. Um,
Cute name.
yeah,
Okay.
and well, why don't we put together an NFT as a way to fund our members' health insurance? And
And what was the reaction?
they're like, oh, okay, open to the idea. So we're all going to be uh, attending a talk and then talking about NFT. Not opposed to it, especially if, because each of us have unique artwork that
Uh-huh.
if we put it into a unique collective NFT, it
Mhm.
actually does have value because it's our work that it's our work that we fundamentally will maintain intellectual property. But to put it into
Fundamentally.
hmm?
Fundamentally, but in actuality, do you control it once it's gone?
I
No.
don't know. I need to find out about it. And
Yeah.
each of us have a body of work that we can create, but something as a collected, right?
Uh-huh.
So not
Uh-huh.
one artist, but
Right.
as the Society of Smoky Mirror, creating this one NFT that is a collage of our work. So us
Okay.
independently keep our work.
And that would make it at least
And as a
rare.
collected single image, collected
Uh-huh.
single NFT, and that we as a mutual aid art group to do this explicitly as a way to look, if American capitalist structure and the lack of art education means that those of us who are culture workers
Mhm.
are not supported, and if this is a if this is a way that we can get our artwork in front of other people that actually might be interested in seeing it. Sure, and supporting, making our own safety net because we don't have
You
health.
need to
Yeah.
because the society does not support artists.
Hmm. So yeah,
Okay, I should have realized that you were probably like involved in making something like that because it sounded like nonsense to me,
yeah.
which is most of modern art.
So yeah, we're thinking about it, and I got informed
Mhm.
the group saying, and Jerry Schultz, the New York Times art critic,
Mhm.
he just him and another artist got together and created an NFT, and it's all going to charity because he's also doing the this is
Hey
this is
Tesla.
the Beanie Babies, and this is ridiculous. And all right, if you all going to buy into the ridiculous thing, knowing that
I
it's
will make a thing.
ridiculous, I will make a thing
Wow.
so that we may continue making each of our work.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, uh, modern art ridiculous, but you said you had.
I recently had an encounter.
Mhm.
Okay. Uh Karen has been wanting to go see an exhibition at the Brooklyn Botanical Garden.
Oh, what a great place.
Um, I had never heard of the artist. She's a Japanese woman who really loves pumpkins.
Yaoi Kusama.
Okay. So,
Lots of
here,
dots, lots of dots.
yes, dots.
Oh my God. You know, Cecilia Corwin and I went to a remote art island in Japan
Uh-huh.
to see a pumpkin.
To see one of her pumpkins.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Well,
yeah.
I have seen some
Hmm.
now. I've also seen a big squid type thing.
Hmm.
Maybe it was very big.
Right.
Yeah, it also polka dotted. Um, and I was like, Karen likes this. This is
Yay,
great.
Karen.
What a lovely day at the park.
Hmm.
And then I saw a different exhibition. It was this amazing, it was a pond in which were hundreds of silver mirrored balls like the size of a
Bowls
bowling ball.
or bowls?
No, balls,
Okay.
round.
Hmm.
Hmm. And they were floating in this pond. And apparently they were light enough that the slightest touch of the wind would make them move. And so the wind on the top of them and the movement of the water below them shifted them back and forth in these endless fractal patterns all over the pond, and I could not tear myself away.
Gotcha.
That was it.
Uh, this is a kusama as well.
I have no idea.
Okay.
But
And
isn't it amazing? And I wish I could share the sound
yeah.
with you because they all made a very delicate clicking sound when they touched each other. I need to turn that off now.
We'll put
There we
it
go.
in the we'll
Because it was
put it in
playing in
the
my
link.
ears.
Yeah.
And so when they all moved together at once, it would be like clickety 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 click. Or if one broke away, you could just hear it, there was an anticipation as it got closer and closer to another one, and you could just above the wind hear the click, just a silvery tap. And I kind of wanted to spread a blanket out and sit there for an afternoon and read, and every once in a while look up and see them moving around. And I don't even know how to explain why it was so beautiful to me.
How long is this exhibition up? The silver balls.
Ah,
I experienced something sort of like that. It was
huh?
at the SF MoMA, but instead of bowls, it was bowls, not balls,
Ah,
bowls. So, and not hundreds, but it was a few dozen in an interior pond, like a water feature, and it created like a wind chime sound on the water. But because it was internal, they had to have a fan on to get the air moving because this is inside of a museum.
uh huh.
But oh, this sounds beautiful. I hope I'm going to be able to visit New York while this is still happening. Because in the before times, if there was an art exhibit, I would just fly there to see it.
Oh, it's not the Brooklyn, it's the Bronx Botanical Gardens.
Ah, okay.
That's why I can't find it.
Yeah.
We have really nice botanical gardens, so,
Yeah, you do. You do. Really beautiful ones. Botanical gardens and especially art focused ones are one of my favorites. So, you who have a mild allergy to contemporary art,
Uh-huh.
and here you are.
Kusama Cosmic Nature is up till October 31st of this year.
Okay, well, maybe I'll have a chance and I'll probably bring a little chair or a picnic blanket. Yeah,
I know Karen wants to see the Kusama exhibit again.
yeah. Well, tell her that if I'm, make it there before, it closes, I will be there with her because I love running around doing contemporary art with her. So, why that piece?
I don't know. It's 1400 stainless steel spheres,
Hmm.
and I believe it is her art.
1400. That's
1400,
that's a
and
body of work of hers that I'm not familiar with then.
it's called the Narcissus Garden
Mm.
because of course they're all reflective, right?
Hmm.
But the thing is, when you see these hundreds of balls moving across the water, you don't see a reflection. You see 100 reflections
Hmm.
of the clouds.
Hmm.
It's really cool, and I don't know why I love it. I
Thing
liked it a lot better than the trees wrapped in polka dots.
um while you're in a browser, look at Yaoi Sama's I think it's called Infinity Room.
Hymn of
You
Life, I want to go to the universe, someone with a pumpkin. Pumpkin screaming about love beyond infinity. Would that be it?
no, no, no,
Oh, because you needed a special ticket to see that.
no. Um I think this one is at the Broad Museum in LA, but the Infinity Room, you walk into a room, door open, door closes, and you're in a room, a mirrored room. Every surface is mirror, including like the little jutty that you're on. And the lights reflect, it looks like it feels
Ah,
like you're standing in a room of infinite stars.
wow. Uh-huh. Okay. Oh, I see there's a documentary about her.
Hmm.
Maybe Karen will want to see it.
Hmm.
I'll mention it to her.
And
Ooh.
I love artists' life gossips. Oh, are you seeing the Infinity Room?
Ooh. Oh, that's beautiful. That, oh, that's stunning.
Screen share it. Yes.
Wow.
Hmm. So, what do you think of that for contemporary art? I've been in one of those rooms, and it is the only thing that's sad about it is I have to leave the room.
That's amazing.
Hmm.
Wow. That's really stunning. Okay, I love it.
Yeah.
12 infinity mirror rooms and where to
Oh,
find them.
I wonder if there's one in your area. I can see the make that little thing go away. Thank you. All right.
Oh, studio across the street from her psychiatric hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Jakarta, pumpkins, Canberra, Denmark, France. Wow. Oh, this one.
That's the one. That's the one I went into.
Oh, this is so LA.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh. It looks like a game of Twister.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's like Game of Twister from like Black Mirror
But this.
and that title.
You are getting obliterated in the dancing swarm of fireflies. Okay, that wasn't the feeling I got, but okay. Yeah. So I had an encounter with art, and
And it moved you.
it it moved me to something I can't identify.
Yeah. You who are a person of words have been moved beyond words.
I mean, I could tell you this is a beautiful installation. I could say that light and points of light have always been an attraction for me. I could spend an evening at an observatory looking at the Milky Way and come home just euphoric. And so this reminds me of looking at stars
Mm-hmm.
and knowing that it was designed and created purposefully is is kind of amazing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Last time I was in London, we went they had were having a light festival. And so they had art installations of different lighting types all over the place. And again, that was on Karen's, ooh, we need to do this. But I had a great time. I had a great time because they were lights and it was nighttime. And London to me has always been a magical city. And so you'd walk around the corner or down an alleyway, and then there'd suddenly be all these lit up umbrellas suspended between buildings, or a fence would become this undulating, multicolored spiral of light that you could see off into the distance. I like this.
So there's a bit of unrealness or super realness. There's playing with your senses, the sound and the visuals of it, and there's motion and three dimensionality, right? It transports
Uh-huh.
you into a place of like a childlike awe or a wonderment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there's definitely a sense of wonderment, and and the silver balls on the water actually made me feel calm.
Hmm.
And that is not my usual state. I live in a state of aggression, anxiety, panic, and mania.
And then you met this.
And then I met that.
Hmm.
And I had read the description of it before we actually saw it. And I said, oh, that sounds kind of cool. And then when I saw it, I stopped dead. I saw it and I stopped walking because I had to stand there and look.
Yep. So welcome to the power of contemporary installation art. It just happens that this was one that worked for you.
And I totally needed to tell you that.
Nina, Nina, Nina.
Yes, and I knew you'd accept it like a gracious adult.
Gotcha. Uh-huh. Oh, wow. Yeah. And she's really like intensely wacko, which is great, and in a way that she creates, it's amazing. Um, Look, there's a lot of contemporary art that is so not my thing.
Of course.
Yeah,
I mean, all periods and types of art will vary in what you appreciate and what you don't, and what attracts you and not. But this particular thing speaks to me.
yeah. And with this one, you didn't have to think. You didn't
No,
have to. You just got to experience it.
yeah,
Hmm.
it didn't make me ponder the mysteries of the universe, but it did remind me of the universe.
Hmm.
Like I said, the fractal patterns, like my rational mind is like, oh, so it's the wind skimming the top of the balls, but then it's also brushing the water underneath, and so the physics of it all is just, it's so fascinating. I've been here for 20 minutes, haven't I? Karen wants to go see the pumpkins now. Okay.
Gotcha.
So yeah, if you do make it to New York, we totally have to hop up.
Hmm.
It is
Yep.
such a short ride from our place in Queens.
And
We could go for great Italian food on Arthur Avenue afterwards.
and then you're going to be sitting there with your eyes wide, mouth open, experiencing it all, and I'm going to be next to you going, ha 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 ha. Gotcha.
Yeah, and if it wasn't forbidden, I'd push you in the pond.
Maybe I'll like fall myself in the pond and like blame you while I'm playing with the in
I
the
wanted to touch them so much.
right, right.
I really wanted to touch them. I wanted to feel how much they weighed and what the surface was like, whether there was a seam in them, because that would also affect how they moved. And don't touch the balls was
Don't, don't touch the balls.
don't touch the balls.
Bollocks.
Damn it.
I love installations that you can touch and interact with, which is
Yeah.
sometimes what I build, right? So, like, I'm going to put in the link my sculpture in the pines,
Mm.
which was the room that was all woven.
Mm-hmm.
And at at the simplest level, I just wanted people to play in it.
Right.
And at another level, I wanted to give shape to the space of 100 years ago where there was this economic boom.
Mm-hmm.
It was the same period, it was 100 years back that there was an economic boom in San Francisco and the working class was being displaced.
Mm.
And so there's a lot of things around this history of San Francisco that I was bringing in. But at the
Mm-hmm.
simplest, I mean, all the stories behind the backstory to my work was one thing. But at the simplest level, I just wanted people to like be in physical engagement with my artwork instead of
Hmm.
like watching it politely from a distance. There was this great piece of a really interesting sculpture at the Boston Contemporary. Yeah, I think it was the Contemporary Art Museum in Boston, where those gymnasts rings. The ones,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Uh-huh.
Hundreds of those in a room, hanging at different height. And it was in
Okay.
like long rectangular room. And the challenge was, and you could just enjoy watching white loops on white straps, and they kind of slowly moved just because of the air movement,
Uh-huh.
maybe a little
Right.
bit flatter.
Mhm.
But the whole thing was you were allowed to climb it. And so, can you make it from one end of the room to another?
Like a like some sort of rope course? Oh my god, I could just imagine people parkour.
And I did it. And it's
Of course you did.
surprisingly hard. And all these kids, right? Tiny little kids, they're what, 50, 60 pound body weight. They should be able to do it. But
Girl, I've seen you deadlift 180 pounds, so
well, they should
yeah,
be able to do it, except they're impatient and they don't strategize.
they don't plot the way.
Right. And
It's
so,
like rock climbing.
yeah.
You don't just reach out randomly. You have to see where your path is gonna go.
And so here I am in the middle of this like giant installation, interactive art that I can climb and do anything. There's like a foam padded floor, right? So,
Mhm.
and so the kids are like impatient and not strategizing. And then the adults are not trusting their own capability. So
Mm.
I'm standing back and I'm watching and I'm watching and I'm watching and I see what's going on and how people are failing it. And here I am, middle-aged Asian woman. I go in and I start making my way through it. In the meantime, the kids are looking at me like, oh, I'm some old lady. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
just watch this kid. And
Watch
they're like
this, kid.
falling like flies. And I'm like making my way through it like some ninja, and I'm like turning my way upside down, pulling myself over, running a leg through. And what did I go with? Like, I think I went with my friend Twitch, who is like a buff dude, and he kind of gave up and watched. And I went with somebody else, and just like I was determined to make it through this artwork.
I do like science museums
Yeah.
because of the fact that there are so many things that allow you to put your hands on
Yeah.
stuff and make stuff or
My,
or watch how science works
mm.
by
And
putting something in motion.
those exhibitions,
Mhm.
I consider, because there's uh, a hands-on science museum here, Exploratorium.
Uh-huh.
And oh, when you're in town next time, knowing this, I'm going to take you to Exploratorium because they have these amazing installations that prove science hands on.
I love that shit.
It's
I'm all
great.
over it.
Yeah.
Like the Museum of the Moving Image over in Astoria, you could dub over famous movie scenes
Yeah.
and do stuff like that and make your own videos and there's just you could have so much fun there. I
So
like
there,
interacting with things.
there's this beautiful exhibition that hands on that uh, that show exponential mathematics. We take a metal ball,
Uh-huh.
you drop it, and then it creates an arc, and where it lands is based upon the exponential science. And I never realized that. And I went with a friend's kid. It was pretty funny. The friend's kid's pretty, actually now has been diagnosed with ADD, but uh,
Ah.
the kid was like impatient, right? Just took a handful of balls and threw it in there and went da 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 da. And he's like, I did it, I don't get it. And I'm like, and I totally turned into like Tiger Mom. It's
Oh
like,
no.
no, take one and read the instructions, hypothesize what the outcome is. But it was
Mhm.
beautiful, this beautiful like brass balls that would then fly through the air. And lo and behold, land at the exponential points. And I'm like, whoa, this isn't just
Mm.
theoretical, it's shows up in physics. And somebody built that.
Art and physics. Apparently, that's my thing.
Yeah. And there's okay, I am so going to be finding you art, physics, and space. And oh, are you familiar with James Turrell?
Mm.
Okay, it's a light artist. So James
Uh-huh.
Turrell looks like an old rancher, right? Big, bright red cowboy hat, not like fashion cowboy hat, like
Right. No,
red.
no, like a real hat that keeps the sun off your face.
He went and let's see, my first time I encountered James Turrell was in Japan at a biennial. I go into a traditional Japanese house. I lay down on the floor with all these people, and suddenly the roof of the house retracts.
Okay.
The the sky is framed in this strip of light.
He
It's
looks like
like
Santa Claus.
bright.
Okay.
And I'm laying there, and because of the brain and the eyes interpreting color differently, so the main feature is the sky, but the light around it like plays tricks with your brain so the color of the sky changes. But you start to notice the imperceptible subtleness and the vastness of the depth of the universe that you're looking into, like the actual thing.
Hmm.
He is now he is now building an enormous art project in
In
a
a crater
crater in Arizona.
outside of Flagstaff.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you go into the crater to actually see and be with the sky.
Have you been there?
Not yet. I don't think it's open to the public yet.
Oh. Huh.
I have several artists who I stalk, as
Uh-huh.
like I will travel, or if I'm in a place, I will seek that artwork out. The calm that you experienced and the awe that you experienced with the silver balls,
Uh-huh.
same thing with Terrell's sky
Hmm.
art. And just sitting there, like either zoning out on the sky, and then like a bird will fly by and kind of like, you know, seeing the clouds changing. It makes you be in the moment. And then the nerd science part is like, my perception of color is changing, and I'm not on
Ha.
any drugs. There's no drugs. It's all my brain. What is happening? So I start to like doubt color. The perception of color starts to change.
Uh-huh.
No drugs, all sky.
One of the most amazing things, a moment of perfection and confusion in my life was the first time I was in Australia and I looked up at the night sky.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a night sky I had never seen before.
It's like being on another planet, right?
Yeah. And the funny thing is that I am not well versed in constellations, and I live in a really heavily light polluted city.
Yeah, your
So,
constellation is a Chrysler building.
yeah,
And
right, exactly. I could find Orion's belt on a good clear night, and that's about as good as it gets.
yeah, yeah, that's good. That's good.
All right.
Yeah.
And I looked up at the sky and I felt this profound sense of
Existential.
unknowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, how that's not right, and yet I'm here.
Hmm.
And looking at these Kusama fireflies exhibits kind of reminds me of that.
Hmm. Okay.
So there you go. I'm
I am
57. I'm learning new shit.
I'm in the process of working with a fabricator. By the way, a fabricator who works with building science exhibits,
Mhm.
of actualizing an installation I wanted to make, but I didn't have the right fabricator because it's not something I can build. Uh,
Mhm.
so I need to work with a fabricator, and yeah, it's called the Buddha boxes.
'Kay.
Hmm.
You'll have to keep me updated.
Yep. It is designed to possibly challenge your idea of self through a visceral visual experience.
Cool.
And that's actually part of one of the many things that Patreon funds.
Yes, thank God.
Because I'm actually paying the fabricators because they're
Right,
professionals.
right. Because people who create things deserve to get paid. I don't know why this is sometimes startling to people, but there you go.
Yeah, yeah. Right.
Anyway, I
And
wanna
it's going to
thank you
work
for
right back
working
to
for
NFTs. Yeah.
for listening to my rambling experience
We are
about
we are going to go there and I'm going to laugh at you.
I'm gonna throw an ice cream at your head. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get myself a big old cone and whip it at the back of your head when you're not looking.
So apparently you and I in modern art like reduces us to being 8 years old. I'm gonna
Yeah,
laugh at
what
you. You're gonna push me
else
in the
is new?
pond.
And I'm gonna throw food at you. Yeah, yeah. This is so on brand for us. I'm here for it.
All right. Well, folks, we'll link to the various exhibitions and the day Laura met art that she liked.
I hate you all, and I don't know why I even tell you anything.
All right, viewers, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for hanging in there. I hope it was interesting. And I'll see you next time, Midori.
All right.
God, tell you deep inner truth.